which running back do you think would do with a better change of scenery? And if you don't have a name off the top of your head right now, I can go because I have one right now.
Yeah, you can go. I'm going to have to look at a list and think about this.
To me, this is easy. It's Joe Mixon. It's Joe Mixon all the way. To me, Joe Mixon is as talented as any of the guys that we say are the best running backs. He's very big. He's got great vision. He's fast. He's a great receiver. He's an excellent pass blocker. To me, Joe Mixon actually, his running style, everything reminds me of a prime Le'Veon Bell, except he's a more explosive athlete. Like, I remember there were a lot of people that said that whose opinions I trust when it comes to evaluating running backs and stuff, who said that they believe that Joe Mixon was the best running back in that 2017 draft class. And obviously he, like Kareem Hunt, had a horrific incident in college, which was why he fell. But Leonard Fournette was considered to be like the next Adrian Peterson in that draft. And for people to say Joe Mixon was a better prospect tells you just how optimistic people were and how high people were on the physical talents of Joe Mixon. And to me, Joe Mixon, first of all, they have a horrible offensive line. It's a pathetic offensive line in Cincinnati.
It is not good.
To me, Zach Taylor, not overly creative in the run game. And to me, he removed his run game to try and just let Joe Burrow play in a shotgun style where Joe Burrow can evaluate coverages and understand where to go with the football, which is great because it utilizes Joe Burrow. But you're dropping your rookie quarterback back 45 times a game, and you're not using your running back, who's one of the best players on your team, if not the best player on your team. Three, I don't think he used him well enough as a receiver either. To me, Joe Mixon is a matchup nightmare. He's an excellent route runner, and he's got great hands, and he's terrific after the catch. To me, all of those things were not utilized by Zach Taylor. You put Joe Mixon on, like, say, the 49ers. To me, Joe Mixon wouldn't just be looked at as, a good running back. He would be looked at the way Dalvin Cook is looked at, the way Nick Chubb is looked at, the way Saquon Barkley. These top guys are looked at. That's how talented he is, in my opinion. And therefore, that's why, to me, Joe Mixon could do with a massive change of scenery.
I feel like with him, too, like, he just needs to stay healthy for a whole year because that's been another concern.
True.
But yeah, like someone of his talent averaging a lot of games, like 3 yards a carry, is just not indicative of his skill, but more of just like what is surrounding him, and it hasn't been great the last few years. So I like the Joe Mixon, the pick, and it's funny because my pick's kind of the opposite. Mine is not more of a star type player who's just on the wrong team. Mine is a guy who's a backup, but if he was given the chance to have a bigger role when he has, he would be special. And that's Tony Pollard of the Cowboys. I mean, we saw what he did when Zeke was out. He looked like Barry Sanders against the 49ers on that one run. I mean, he was throwing dudes off of him. He's always
don't remind me of that.
Every time he comes in, it's like Zeke will run for 2, Zeke will run for 1. And I know he's the change of pace back and he's, maybe getting more favorable boxes, but Tony Pollard was much, much better statistically than Zeke, and he has that speed. I think he's a pretty solid receiver too. You put Tony Pollard as the main starter on that team, and I don't think there would be a huge significant drop-off like everyone would believe there is. He just needs a chance, and I don't know if it'll be on the Cowboys, but he needs it somewhere because he's a really talented running back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm 100% agree with that. You mentioned, right? He just looked better than Zeke last year. Zeke didn't look the same. Right. Zeke didn't look like the same explosive athlete last year. And when Tony Pollard came in, you could see the suddenness, you could see the explosion, you could see the balance, you could see all of those things. So I agree with you. I'm not sure how long it would be, but you just brought up Miles Sanders as the most underrated back. To me, Tony Pollard has that type skill set. Now, is he as good as Miles Sanders? Probably
Miles
not.
Sanders is really good, but Pollard's also a really solid. He's one of the best second running backs in the league, and it's sad that Zeke, how much I feel like Zeke's when he was at his peak, how much he's fallen off, and seeing that because you mentioned it when you watch them come in, when you watch Pollard come in, you're just like, this guy is so much more explosive. Like it is very, very noticeable.
Agreed. So I think we reached the end. Brandon. Great question, Brandon.